our next presenter has arrived. And Ileana, before we start with our next presenter, can you just introduce yourself and explain, who you are and where, how old you are and what college you're going to? And then
And I will bail out. And
I'm Eliana Marcus, and I'm 8 years old. I don't know what college I'm going to, but in my free time, I either watch TV, play like games, or make jewelry.
well, your job is to listen to the presentation and then ask some questions at the end. Lexa, I have put you on the spot now. You're going to be grilled, okay?
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
But can you please introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and whatever it is you want to present, the floor is yours.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on today. This is such a cool thing that you guys have put together, and I'm so excited to see all these kids who are participating. I am Lexa Gandolfo. I work for the United Inventors Association as an advisor. Currently, the United Inventors Association is the largest 501c3 nonprofit, probably in the world, certainly in the country, representing the rights of independent inventors and educating and supporting them. And that includes inventors as young as Eliana and younger. So we're so happy to see the youth and innovation movement. I am also an inventor myself. My invention is behind me. It's called Cargo Caddy. It's a stowable trunk shelf for SUVs and CUVs. Finally, I work as the executive director for Invent New England, which is one of the oldest nonprofit groups in the country representing and supporting independent inventors. So I feel like I've a bunch of different things I'm working on. All sort of the common denominator is helping to support and educate inventors in their journey in commercializing their own products, including mine. So that's it for an introduction, but I'm happy to be here and answer any questions I can about specifically the United Inventors Association and how we work with Julie and Jake and Innovation World to help kind of collaborate and work together to represent the rights and needs of our youth and getting them involved in innovation and inventing. So. Can I answer any questions about what we're doing to that end?
Well, let me start.
Yes.
Why would somebody want to join your organization?
Well, right now, we are working on a website that I think is going to have a wealth of information that will be of use to especially our youth, as far as the kind of steps that they should take and the kind of pitfalls that they should try to avoid and what they really need to know in getting started and along the way on the journey of coming up with a product idea and taking that product to market. So that includes podcasts, videos, documents, all kinds of materials given by, vetted by, presented by kind of the who's who in this space, in the innovation space. So that's number one reason why anybody of any age should get involved with the UIA. Second, we have a number of events throughout the year that are designed to help and support independent inventors. So that's the hardware show, houseware show, PGA show, a number of different trade shows and conventions designed to do just that. Now, of course, a little bit of this has been sort of stunted by the virus, but we're continuing to hold these events and have a huge presence at these events. So we'd like to have as many inventors as possible participate in these events. Some of them are virtual, but the hardware show, for example, in Las Vegas in October was in person. So that's a great way for inventors to show off their products, get exposure for those products, and get connected with the licensees or manufacturers that they need to take the product to the next step. And finally, we just have so many great people like Julie who are involved with, and Jake, who are involved with the United Inventors Association as ambassadors and people who can act as mentors to young people and people of all ages, really throughout their commercialization process. So we want to get people hooked up with the right people right when they get started on these invention or innovation journeys. So in large part so that they don't get kind of plucked away by some of the people who are interested in just lining their own pockets, because there are a lot of people like that, the invention submission companies and others who are just looking to take money from people right up front and aren't really interested in supporting and bolstering and really encouraging people to innovate. And our country is a country of innovators and inventors. And if we want that tradition to continue, we got to start young with young people. And I'm happy to be part of an organization that really is working to do specific things to help those people succeed.
If I may ask a question, pardon me. So you mentioned that your mission has been somewhat constrained. What is wrong with my voice? I'm not 14. Has been slightly constrained because of the virus. But more importantly, as innovators, because you're an innovator and I'm an innovator, how have you adapted and innovated as a result of that constraint? Because all good innovators do.
It's such a good question. And I was a little discouraged when I first started out because it's somewhat, I started with the idea behind me in 2019. And of course, 2020 was the year where everything started to shut down. So it's like anything else when you're inventing or innovating. You pivot a little bit and you figure out what to do next. I've actually found that through either United Inventors Association and also through my own work with New England Invents, we have been able to connect with inventors in the platform we're using right now, in increased communications offline, good old telephone, and we're getting people connected with the people they need to talk to take the next step. In some instances, a little bit more easily. I think that people have a little bit, we found at least that we have inventors who maybe are working from home, maybe have decided to switch away from their traditional jobs and work on that idea that they've had for the last 10, 15, 20 years and put some time and energy and kind of intellectual capital into those ideas. So we've never been busier, which is a great sign in terms of inventors reaching out to us and saying, what do we need to do? I've got some newfound time. I want to take, maybe it's my father's idea that is patented, that is kind of, I want to dust that idea off and take it and try to commercialize it, or it's their own idea or whatever the case may be, or their mother's idea. But people are getting back to sort of what interests them and excites them, and maybe taking a little more time to do something that is important to them. And that's so encouraging for our country in general.
Great.
Bravo. Great answer, love.
Eliana, do you have any questions or a comment?
So whenever you start to think of it, like, how did you exactly know, this is what I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you know that?
Yeah, that's such a good question. My kids always ask me, what did you want to be when you grew up? And I was like, I just sort of knew I wanted to be in business, but I didn't have any sort of specific direction. So I'll tell you, this idea was born out of necessity. And I'm sure you've heard this, Eliana, like necessity is the mother of all invention or innovation. I mean, it's true. When you need something and it's not around, then you go figure it out yourself. And that's sort of the spirit of innovation that captures all of us, and that's why we're all here, all of us who are creative types. So I had 3 young kids. I had a huge SUV trunk, and I had so many things I had to put in it: a stroller and grocery bags and diaper bags and water bottles and all that type of thing. So I thought, all right, can't find it on the market, so I'm just gonna make it myself. And that's what Cargo Caddy behind me is. So there was no watershed moment or sort of like this, wow, I'm going to become an inventor. It was just, I just fell into it because I just thought, oh, well, this is a need. It's not on the market. I want to do it. So it's really that kind of maybe boring and pragmatic and practical. And I don't want to say that it's not, some exciting, you have a dream and you make something, but sometimes it's just that. It's just, I need this. Nobody else is doing it. I'm creative and smart enough to work on it and get it done. And that's how it happens. How about you? What are you working on right now, Eliana?
I'm working on, I got like a kit to make a robot, and I was thinking of like attaching like broom to it so it could clean up the house so I just sit on the couch.
I bet your mother loves that idea. You know what? You really remind me of my daughter, who is 9, and she had an idea she named the Petcume, and it was going to be a vacuum shaped as either a cat or a dog that did just that. She could sit and read her book, press a button, and it would do her chores for her, because I'm always nagging her and my other 2 kids to get their chores done and clean up. But she liked the idea of having a little animal that she could control and make it fun for her while she did her chores. So I love that idea. I hope you're continuing to work on it and research it.
And
you can always write me. I'll put my name and email address in the chat box, and I can help you as much as I can and connect you with other inventors and experts at the United Inventors Association to help you move your product along, because I think it's a great one.
I make it look like a little human, so like it's like fun, and it's just like wobbling around, moving the dustpan.
You know what? I think that's great. If you got to do your chores, you got to do your chores. May as well make it fun while you're doing it.
True.
Good. That's great. What kind of roadblocks have you run into, Eliana, in terms of putting together your idea? Is there anything that you need, that you're stuck on, or that you need some advice to get through? Any parts of your journey you need some advice on?
It only goes in circles.
Yeah, it only goes in circles. So tell me about how does it work? I mean, is it all controlled?
No, it has like 2 little legs that just goes in like circles. So like at first it goes straight, and it's kind of like there's a little bit of stuff here, and it turns.
Okay.
But then it just keeps going in circles, and I'm like, okay, now I have to move it again.
Okay. So how did you get it to move? How is it mechanized? How do you get it to move in the first place? What's behind that?
I like press a button. I just press one button.
You just press one button. All right. So we have to look at the what's called the mechanics or the inner workings and see how we can program that thing to move forward and backwards, not just in circles.
Indeed.
There's a couple questions in here. I don't know, Jake, if you'd like me to read them off.
Please, go.
Okay. Well, one of them, this is not self-serving, I promise, but can I buy a Cargo Caddy? Well, I'm working on licensing the Cargo Caddy right now. So I'm hoping, I'm in talks with a company right now for them to license it. And what that means is, Eliana, I'm not sure if you know what that means. I'm sure the other gentlemen on the call do, but the company that I license it to kind of rents the intellectual property. This is a patent pending product, and then they manufacture it or make it, and then they market it and distribute it. So once that's done, Jim, I will, oh, that's Jim right here. I'll let you know when it's on the market. This says, okay. Oh, this is Celeste told us about your research. Helene, we are very interested. I'm not sure if she's on the call.
That's for our next presenter.
Oh, okay, excellent. Okay. Well, I don't want to take up too much time because I know that we're right up at 10:15, but let me put my information in the chat box, and I would love for, I get so excited talking to Julie and Jake's kids, and I love some of the ideas that have come our way that we have actually worked, we at United Inventors Association have actually helped to prototype and move to the next step. There's been some competitions that we've been involved with. Those are like the highlight of my work with the UIA. So I really am not just saying this, I would love to hear more from you and anybody else watching. Here is my information, and please get in touch.
Well,
I'll also put the address of the United Inventors Association in there as well.
great. Lexa, one of the things that happens is after these videos are posted, people will contact me and they'll contact Julie and they'll ask us all kinds of questions. What do I do? What's the next step? Okay. And we're not the experts. Okay. What I'd love to do is maybe have your organization have a period, it can just be 15 minutes, but on every single gift. And then it's sort of an open period where you can talk about different issues and sort of give support, not specific problems, but just in general.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, sign up for this time and there'll be a representative and they can ask questions.
Absolutely. And I would really, to that end, I would really recommend that everybody go to uiausa.org, click become a member, and that way we have a line of communication with you, because we do communicate. Now, as we build up and to look at redesigning the website, there's a little bit of a lull right now, but we really expect to go full out in a month or so when the site launches and really get in touch with the people who join the site. And a good portion of those prospective members or existing members are youth. So I mean it when I say, please get in touch. And Julie is an ambassador for the United Inventors Association. So she's a conduit between Innovation World and UIA. And I'm happy to work with her in any capacity to further these kids' dreams.
Great. Thank you very much.